All right. Hi, guys. Welcome to this live. I hope you guys are doing all right. So let me just check the audio quality real quick while people are rolling in. And I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend here in the US. Might not be the same wherever you are, but currently it's Sunday. For those who are watching the replay, wow, that is very, very bright. Let me just see what's going on here, audio quality wise. Wow, that is bright. My goodness. Okay, you guys, I have a confession here. I literally just switched I got a new webcam. I wish I could show you, but I can't because I'm recording on this webcam. And I don't think I'm going to be using it again. I just wanted to try it out. I can show you what I really like about this new webcam, though. And that is that I can actually touch it and it's not going to pop out. It's not going to pop the live stream out. Just get rid of this here real quick. So yeah, technology, fun gadgets. But I swear, I've been setting up new technology all weekend long. So I hope it works. But see, this is actually really cool. I can actually move it around. And I could not do this with the old one, which I'm still going to use, by the way, because I really don't like the lighting with this one. It kind of has this gray filter on it, like the gray color balance, which you can't change. It's a really neat one, though. I already tried it out. If I were to use only the microphone on this webcam, it would be good too. So I feel it's really good for on the road when you can't bring your own microphone, when you can't bring all the gadgets that you usually want to. And I can put it on a tripod, which is really cool. So I can actually just put it here right now on my laptop and kind of look at the screen from a different angle and wiggle it around and make you all motion sick. And it's pretty neat. But other than that, I really hate, if you guys see like the quality of the other live streams and you see how golden it looks, that is the color balance I'm looking for. So I'm going to stick with my other webcam. But I really wanted to try this out. I thought it was so cool. And it's good, just for one live stream, I think we'll survive, right? Yeah, I think you'll survive. So it looks super bright on the screen. I hope you guys can still see me. You're not like looking into the light or whatever. Hi to C. Hi to Julie. Nice to see you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and read a few comments that came in that I thought were really interesting. I also have a few notes. But if you guys just want to pop in questions, like general questions into the chat or anything you want to talk about, these live streams are kind of what you make out of them, as you know. And this is my old webcam, by the way. Like I have it down here. So nostalgic and missing it. So yeah, I know these are really unexpected too. So they just kind of happen whenever I can go online. But I feel that's just the only way I can really do them at this point because I don't really have a plan. And whenever I do plan something happens, like some technology issue or whatever. So I literally have been setting up I set up like a new microphone this weekend. I set up this new webcam thing. It took me, I think I messed around with it for like 2 hours straight, just kind of see if the gray is going to go away, like the color white balance is going to be less cold. But it doesn't. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. We'll use it occasionally, but I still like the other one way better. And you have no idea. Like I've been looking for a new webcam for the past 4 years, ever since I got the old one, and I knew it would probably run its course eventually. I've been just comparing and searching and everything, and I just can't find what I have right now. It's just insane. It's insane, you guys. It's like you find that one thing, you can't replicate it. Even when I try to purchase from the same brand, they don't have the old model anymore that I am currently using. And so I go to the same company and I want what I had before. They send me a newer model and it looks completely different again. What is neat about this is that it's not as wide angle as the other one was. So you're actually really far away this time around. I do like that. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Originally, I had wanted to go live on Super Bowl Sunday as well. And that was exactly a week ago. But it didn't really feel right. And then unfortunately, I didn't get to it during the week. But I didn't bother watching it. I don't know if any one of you watched it. I just can't anymore with all of these Matrix things, soccer, Super Bowl, football, hockey, whatever, all of those games. I can't watch them anymore. There's just too many symbols going on. I don't want to say rituals, but you guys know what I mean. There are just too many of those things going on that are energetically impacting the crowds, no matter if you're there live in person or if you're just watching it. So I personally can't even tune into that anymore. And I still think it's going on full force. I don't think I missed out on anything. Can't even remember the last time I really watched the Super Bowl with someone. I think it was probably about 10 years ago, or maybe it was like 2016, like 8-ish years ago. It's been a long time. And I don't even feel drawn to that at all anymore. Hi to Scotty Boy. Hi to GR. Big love to y'all. Yes, agreed. Okay, you guys. What do you guys want to talk about? I don't know what's going on in your world or just in general. I'm going to start with a few comments that came in. Currently working on something new as well. So I would say subscribe to my mailing list if you're not subscribed yet, because I'm going to announce something later on this week on there. And it has to do with combating the matrix, which I think a lot of people are going to find very, very helpful. So that's been like my big project over these past few days, or the past few weeks, actually. Probably since December and on, but I haven't gotten to it until recently because I was very, very distracted with other things going on in my life. And I just could not sit down and focus and record all the things that I needed to. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you're not subscribed yet, I would say subscribe to that mailing list on my website, shamanicself.com, because I don't really announce a whole lot of things on here. And when I do, I usually give, the others first range. So I want to talk about, there was actually a really good comment in my Telegram group that we can start off with, because I'm looking at AI comments right here. So let me get to that one. Did I take a screenshot of it? Ooh, that is bright. Everything's bright right now. Okay, so there was a comment in the Telegram chat group. If you're on Telegram, you can join, and then you just join the chat. And I'll get to your comments too. I just want to read this one first. So the person was asking, this is so good. This is really good because it emphasizes everything. Julie's saying, I just want to put it out there. I feel easily exhausted and drained off late. I noticed that today. Yeah. Not just today, but pretty much over the past few. So how can we diffuse the attacks of AI? Any type of technique or meditation to purify the mind and thoughts? I've been really struggling for the past years. I'm more in control, but still not totally. The first time I meditated on removing it in 2022, and it heavily attacked me right away from satellites and towers. It had the opposite effect of what I wished. So I kind of replied something along the lines of, if you were trying to work with this and trying to defend yourself or deter it or just protect yourself from it, and you were heavily attacked, as crazy as it sounds, that's actually a good sign in the form of it's working, that you're starting to piss them off, because they would not be attacking you unless they knew what you were doing would be helpful. And I get that a lot. The more I try to protect myself, or the more intense these sessions get that I do on others, the more I have to put up protection, like, the entire full on 3, 4, 5 layers that I usually put on already. But on top of that, even more protection. Because the attacks are getting so out there over these past few months, over these past few years even, but over the past 6+ months, since the summer and on, they've gotten pretty ridiculous. And you just feel it too, energetically, when you're really just in that space. So if you're getting attacked because you are trying to defend yourself from AI, or you're trying to deter them, or you're just trying to protect yourself from them, it's working. It's pissing them off because you're closing the access off somehow, and they have to try harder to actually attack you, if that makes sense. So you're going to get severely attacked, especially if it's really working. And you just have to continue doing it. You just have to put up stronger and stronger protection techniques and all of that. But in the essence of it, it's working, because if you were not to be doing that, it would mean that you're not really on their radar, right? You only like there are certain ways we get on their radar. First of all, we're targeted. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm assuming a lot of people watching, including myself, obviously, as I already explained, a lot of us are targeted, and it's called a targeted individual, call it whatever you want to, but targeted individuals like the general term a lot of other people use too. And I don't even like that term because it implies you're in this victim mentality and you can't do anything about it. You can do a lot of things about it. But basically, we come in completely targeted. They already know who you are before you enter. You know, from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, the more recycled you get, the DNA stays the exact same. By the way, your DNA does not change at all. So you have the same DNA over the lifetimes. Which is also why you look similar. You know, you have similar facial features. Even if you're a man or a woman, like I read on that for myself. When I was a man in a few lifetimes, I still had these very high cheekbones, which you could probably see in this crappy webcam. I'm just joking. But you know, I had like these high cheekbones. Like in this one lifetime, this is like in the medieval ages, I had these very high cheekbones. I had reddish blonde hair as a man. I was like someone who had to do with the knights and all of that. So I actually recognize myself energetically. You also have the same energy imprint around you, the same auric expansion that you usually have. So you can tell that it's the same DNA. And so all of those lifetimes are stuck in your DNA as well, which I want to explain more when I get to my DNA healing course later on in the spring. So basically, you have the same DNA, the trauma stuck in your DNA as well, which makes it really tricky because you think, oh, I'm just experiencing trauma from this lifetime. Isn't that hard enough? No, you're experiencing so much trauma and it's stuck in your DNA. It's stuck in your cell bodies. It's stuck in your tissue. And all of that has to do with DNA. DNA is what? It's blood, it's bones, it's hair, it's nails. All of that is DNA, right? People think it's just like your spit or whatever. That's how you do DNA testing. No, there's so much more that goes into DNA, obviously. And so, where was I? Okay, so same DNA from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. You look similar from lifetime too, even though you don't look exactly the same. You look very similar. You have a similar height. Not all the time. Sometimes you're very small, sometimes you're very large, but typically you do have a similar bone structure too. So it's not that if you were like very heavy set or you had like a very large bone structure in one lifetime, you would be like completely the opposite. No, actually, if you're, you know, I've always kind of been this like very skinny, just kind of like similar. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I just know because I know so much about my past lives or parallel lives at this point, but you look similar. And I know for sure that I looked almost like this in the very previous lifetime, except for my hair, which was a similar hair color, by the way, was a bit more curly. It was more on the curlier side. Right now it's more on the straighter side or wavier side. So it's very interesting and it kind of freaks you out, especially in the beginning when you're like, I don't understand why I look very similar, like the way I looked in a previous lifetime. And I've been analyzing so many people, like just random celebrities. I analyzed one of Britney Spears' previous lifetimes. I think she was around in the 1930s. She was one of those poor, crazy girl, which I had on my old channel. I had this one video where, as a girl, she was stuck into a mental institution, and she looked almost the same. There's this one other caricature that I saw where someone looked like Orlando Bloom, and that was 100 years ago, and he looks pretty much the same except for different clothes that he wears, different hairstyle. So with the celebrities, though, what you also have to consider is the entire cloning that goes into it. So they're just cloning from this main character, and all these others are clones. So that's why Shakira looks similar to another celebrity and all of that. There's so much that goes into that. But for you specifically, you will look similar from lifetime to lifetime. You're not going to look exactly the same necessarily, but you're going to have a similar bone structure. You're going to have most likely a similar height even. And like even probably like the same hands, I would say. You know, there's so much similarities. Like I said, you know, the high cheekbones has always been there in all of my lifetimes so far that I've seen. I had blonde hair in a few lifetimes. I was a man in a few lifetimes. Most of the time I do think I was a woman, by the way. I had I had gray hair in one. That was the one I saw where it's more towards the end of it. I think I even had reddish hair in one. But yeah, overall, there are similarities, similar skin. Scotty boy. So I was a short girl too. I don't know, Scotty boy. Are you short now? You could probably read on that. And some people don't make it past the child stage, right? Like in a lot of lifetimes, we had famines, we had people just not, children died younger during those times too. So you don't know. Julie's saying, I think I was also a male in one of my past lives. I think we all switch genders occasionally, but I do think we have a favorite gender that we always like to come back into, or like kind of forced to come back into, reincarnate into. And I do think I feel more comfortable in a woman's body than a man's body, but I don't know. I have this one friend, she has a very masculine energy and she is a complete woman, and I swear for sure she's been more men in previous lifetimes than women, because everything about her is just like this huge, like this alpha personality about her. Okay, so I don't even know what I was gonna say, where I was going with that. Okay, yes. So, okay, we were going back to the AI, we were going back to the Telegram comment. So they know who you are from lifetime to lifetime. They have this, I don't want to say it's a tag, it could be a tag. And the tag is energetic. And I removed I removed a tag in between my shoulder blades once that came in too. So they have all these things on you energetically, like implants, tags, probably even something on your forehead saying, this is her, watch her, or kind of just putting something on you. Kind of like a tracker. Let's call it a tracker because that sounds very simple, right? And so it's this energetic tracker where they can really track everything, like from lifetime to lifetime. They really track you. They're watching you. It's creepy how often like probably everyone's watching you during every second, like all these entities anyhow. But the controllers that run this game, if you're already targeted, like from one lifetime, because you're probably very powerful at one point. You're still very powerful, of course. But let's just say 2,000 years ago, you were this powerful, I don't know, like king or knight or someone, like, let's just go to the Knights Templars, like one of those who was really shaking up the reality and really changing things. Or you were one of the people that are mentioned in scripture. I don't, like one of the pharaohs. I don't know, whoever you were, someone who's not necessarily AI and control, but just someone, right? Maybe some of the gods, even like those were incarnated persons too. So you were some of those, or just a regular person, but I do think when you're targeted, you must have been at one point so powerful and almost disrupted this entire system that now you're incarnated again as someone who's just more regular, because every single celebrity out there is just a newer clone or a newer something created over these past 50, 60, 100 years, 200 years, most likely. And so they have a tracker on you before you enter already. And so they keep you asleep through all these things, right? Through the programming, through school systems, through pretty much everything. And then the moment that you wake up, because obviously you're going to wake up, especially in today's times, you're going to question your reality, especially from 2020 on. That's when it hits the fan, because they don't want you waking up. And so when you start doing these exercises, you're going to get attacked more than anything. I mean, that happened to me as well. I wrote about that on my bio and the website too, how I started doing these things. All this energy was called in, back then I thought it was very strong reptilian energy, by the way. But no matter what, my entire life fell apart. And you're going to experience, that's why you're going to experience that too, because they're going to try to make your life as sour as possible. And it's going to be initiated and activated by all these different things, like all these different points in your life where you take 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back again. And it really gets to you. And that's what they're trying to do, by throwing all this stuff at you, by attacking you that way. They're trying to deter you from doing that. So if you're being attacked, you're doing something right. Was that like a 10-minute long explanation? I'm looking at the clock right here. Like, wow, was that a 10-minute explanation of that one comment that came through? But I hope it makes sense. It took me 44 years to understand compassion. I feel I've had a female go around too, but I'm a male in this go around, so I will act as a male. Yeah, and I do think we have to act the way we're here, right? So glad I found balance. I know it's all about that. Okay, so that was in regards to the attacks, and yeah, they know exactly who you are. Of course they know. Like, they put you back into this game. How would they not know? You would too, if you had everything torn, like ripped away, like the veil, everything ripped away from you. You would know exactly who you are too. But you're coming in under an amnesia, And it's kind of like this forced amnesia, right? Oh, I'm just going to forget and live this human life, whatever that even means. So you're coming in under this amnesia, not knowing, oh, you were King Leo or Queen so-and-so, Queen Esther in this previous life, or, you were someone who was huge, the spiritual leader or whatever in this previous life. And so they know that. They're watching every single one of your steps and moves. If you make a step in a direction they don't want you to make, you're going to get attacked. And so that's just part of the game. Hi to Yannick. Okay, so let's go through a few comments here before I go through the other comments. Ooh, it's all the way up here. Yeah, if you guys just want to talk about something, just put it in. And, the live is just about what you make of it. Okay, C Beach is saying, some are saying there's going to be a major Carrington event type happening in March or April. What is a Carrington event? I don't even know what that is. Let me look it up. Now that my webcam is steady, I can actually type Carrington events. Oh, geomagnetic storm and recorded history. Okay, I don't really care about those. The geomagnetic storms, the Schumann resonance, those are all technology that the controllers, whoever's running this game, is using to really you were talking about finding balance, all of that, to mess up your balance, to imbalance you. And that's why you're also so dehydrated when the Schumann resonance peaks, or when there's like another solar flare or geomagnetic storm or whatever that even means. It's all just technology they're using. So I'm not going to necessarily read on that. I mean, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, right? It's kind of like reading, oh, is the Schumann resonance going to peak again? I don't really care much about those, because it's a technology they're using. It's energetic, and energetic is basically just something we're not aware of yet. Just like they have the invisible cloaks. Yeah, technology exists. We can't see it, so it's magic, right? So it's kind of like they're part of the magic technology they're using, where there's a simple scientific explanation for it. Like 100 years from now, we're going to know, oh, whatever these things were, they were just using these beamer machines that you can't see with your eye, but you can definitely pick up on it with another machine. And so what is really, really important, though, if you think that's going to happen, take more magnesium. You're going to need it. And I already started taking more magnesium too, because I can feel it. All of these things, because it's a form of technology they're using, it's zapping your magnesium and mineral supply away from you. And that's why you're also craving certain things over others. So magnesium's really important. What else is important? Maybe calcium too. I actually got some calcium recently, although I'm not sure 100% I really need it, but I just got it. There was something else, was a mineral oxide. I have to look into it again, but there are other things. And of course, just detoxing yourself from heavy metals, because they're going to push that all through the atmosphere and through the skies too. So if that is what the Carrington event is, that's at least what I'm getting when looking it up. Pic or video looks the same to me. I don't think it was ever that bad. No, Scotty boy. I was basically saying how I switched cameras and I'm not going to use it anymore. Yannick is saying, I got 3 grams of magnesium mallets a day. Humic and fulvic acid is a good heavy metal detox. Okay, let's go back up here. Bright flame. Question. So many well-meaning psychic people have totally different answers about what is. How do you know yours are accurate? I have psi stuff. I don't know if that's psychic stuff. I have psychic stuff. I don't even believe it. And I don't even believe it. How do you know you're not hijacked? I just know. At this point, with the amount of removals I do, with the amount of work I do, I have to work on myself every single day. They always try to hijack you, not just me or you, but just people in general. When you do this type of work, like I already said, in one session, they put a tag right here after that session. And the moment it came in, because they were trying to put it on me to mess with my energy, it was a form of implant. The moment they put that in, I felt it. And I'm like, hell no, you are not doing that. So I had to remove that right away. I feel that right away. But of course, when you're in a vulnerable position, like when we don't get a lot of sleep, when we don't get a lot of good nutrients, water, our basic needs are not necessarily met, we're like super fearful. Something happened in our lives, we're grieving, all of that. We have to, I mean, it's life, right? It happens, like people pass away. We lose friendships, relationships. Like it's just life that happens in general. People lose things. Just people get their reality shaken up. That's usually when you would have to be careful with those things, and that's usually when I try to just pre-record a whole bunch of videos and not record during that time, because I can feel I need to rebalance myself. But that's usually when I try to get to, when you're the most vulnerable. What is that saying again? Kick you when you're on the ground, or just being kicked when you're on the ground. It's kind of what it reminds me of when you're going through those things. But I feel a lot of those experiences and events are also there to make you stronger, as cliche as it sounds. I just had a friend go through one of the most intense grieving periods ever, and I actually can't even imagine what it feels like. I don't want to talk about it publicly on this channel because it's so fresh. It literally just happened a few months ago. And the way she's been handling it, I'm like, I don't even know how. I don't even know how you're still posting, standing, still doing all these things. I would be completely devastated if I were in that situation. And so I do think we have to take something out of that and learn from it to the best we could, and it can make us stronger. So in short, I think it was the amount of questioning I do in my reality, the amount of energy work I do on myself every single day. I just closed down this really intense 8 to 9 self-healing journey. I was doing this really, really good visualization exercise and shamanic journey for, basically the past almost 1.5, 2 weeks, because I felt I needed that. I was going through something else in my life too. And I'm like, I really need, if I don't do this right now, I need to make progress somehow, and I have to do this. So the amount of work that I do on myself, I don't see others doing that. I don't see the people like, I don't want to name names, but go to the list exposing the new ages, the 40 plus people or the 40 plus concepts on. I don't see those people doing it. They preach about the same stuff they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. Their energy looks horrendous. People tell me all the time when they see me, you can tell when you do your work, you can tell. People can tell. I clean my energy field every day. I don't have anything in there. I'm not infiltrated in that sense, because I have to do the work every single day. And you have to, when you do this type of work, you have to. When I notice it the most is when I travel by plane. That's when I feel my auric field is the most attacked too. And that's when I know I have to take a few days off, because I have to get back to the normal stable or the balance. Can you explain how a block in the sacral or root chakra can cause sexual impotency? Yeah. So aside from the chakras, that area in general, whatever you have in there, it's just energy that manifests in there, right? And it's going to manifest in the physical. So it goes through these different layers. Like it first manifests in the non-physical. Somehow it's either in the emotional, it's in the non-physical, and then it starts manifesting in the energetic. So it's all in those other outer layers before it goes to the physical. The physical is the last layer it manifests in. And so you're talking about a block or a blockage in those areas. It makes sense. I would say, yeah, probably the sacral or the roots area. Like for women, it's the womb area. There's an imbalance somehow that manifested. A lot of times it's anger, by the way, or just feeling incompetent, feeling inferior. That would have to do with, the impotency. I don't even know how you pronounce that you're talking about. So that makes sense. Scotty Boy saying, sit in your own truth, frick what others say. I'm sorry, I'm like late with these comments. um Yeah, Sybil. Kick you when you're up, kick you when you're down. Place a protection field around you every day and be mindful of your thoughts. Yeah, you do have to be mindful of your thoughts. Yeah, your thoughts. I've been noticing that more and more. The more I'm digging into this thought thing over the past year or so, oh my gosh, they're trying to push. You're talking about attacks. They're attacking you with thoughts, and you need to be very mindful what's yours and what's not yours. Um, Okay, sorry, I have to scroll back up here. Julie saying, I agree with you, Scotty. I use discernment and listen to my own intuition and truth. Adam saying, I saw astral entities that look like clowns in the night. Yeah. Can you please tell me where you think they come from? Where they are? Have you not been following my old channel, Adam? I was talking all about clowns on that one. It's astral entities. It's the clown world. AI is clown. Clone is clown. It's clowns. They look like clowns. Every time I tap into that, they look like clowns. Some look like old pharaonian clowns, kind of like with that mask on, but they look like clowns. It's AI. Astral entities are AI. And so the clowns make sense to me. I've seen them a lot of times. I'm growing a bigger butt, more space for them to kiss. Julie's saying, I believe we just need to protect our fields frequently by not engaging. How can we free ourselves from that? Is from GR. I don't know what you mean, because the comments are, honestly, I'm spending more time in defense than I am in openness. That's interesting, Scotty boy. I feel I've been in those stages in my life too, where I felt I was more in defense during 2020 to 2022, when every single post I was making on my personal social media was like defensive, or even offensive, not even have them get to defending me. I'm like, no, I'm going to full on go in and tell you how stupid all of these restrictions, everything is. We've been in those stages, right? I feel we go through those stages in life. I don't run in defense ever. Times are getting harder. Hold strong, Ohana. Similar skin. Yes, I do think so. I think people who have skin issues in this lifetime had skin issues in the last lifetime. A lot of times when you get burned to the stake, or you just die in a house fire or whatever in a past life, you're going to have skin issues in this life too. I was burnt in a past life, and I had skin issues in certain areas on my body until I discovered where they're coming from. So, hi to Cleo. It took me 44 years to understand compassion. Some people will never understand compassion. So 44 years is pretty good. I'm not buying into this April 8th crap. What's supposed to be happening on April 8th? Yannick is saying, looks like a new cam you got. Yes, Yannick. Rewind to the first 3 minutes of this live stream where I complain about this new webcam and how I'm not going to use it again. But other than that, other than it looking gray and cold, it's great. It's great because I can shake it around, which I can show you at the end of the live again. Okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted with new comments and old comments. So let's just go through the old ones. Cleo is asking any question. I had a bad experience with a Reiki mentor and joined the club, Cleo. Then I talked with someone that says it's an integral part of awakening to have a bad teacher at some point. Thoughts? I felt like I had to shake that energy. Like it took a year for me to stretch my body out and get kinks out. I felt it was an attack on my body. It took over a year to finally feel it was my body again. So that is a pretty severe attack. And I don't think we have to go through that. You went through it. You realized what was happening. It probably made you stronger or more aware. But this is exactly why I do the videos I do, because I don't want people to go through this, because a lot of people don't know how to get rid of that. I once had a random person just put a snake in me because we were talking about Reiki and they hated Reiki or something. Like they were like a sorcerer, like a male witch. Is that a witch or a sorcerer, whatever you call that? I used to give these lectures on crystal healing. This is way back. This is like 2017, 2018 when I was first starting off. And this is in Brooklyn. So it was local. Everything was local. None of this online stuff. Which I love the online stuff, but I also love the local thing because you could really connect with people in the area. So I was giving this lecture on crystal healing and just like, I think it was like a crystal grid or crystal properties, whatever, because I obviously started off with crystals and I'm still very much into them. And then somehow the owner of the store, I was watching his lecture somehow, and he really managed to put a witch into my body, and I didn't even know. I had a shamanic friend back then, and she was able to get it out right away. But I could feel it the moment it came in. I was like, oh, I have to leave. I have to go home. I have to call her. Luckily, she was awake because there was a huge time difference too, and she was able to yank it out. This is like before I even knew how to really do that. And I was like, wow, that's how it works. That's crazy. That's really how it works. Like just intention. When you do this work, like he was doing it probably for 10, 20 years. I think he was in his 40s back then. So he's doing it for a while. When you do it, you call in so much stuff. You have so many entities around you. And it's similar to Reiki. When I had my Reiki 1 and 2 attunement, which I only made it to level 1 and 2, and that was it. I think it was a reptilian energy that was called in somehow. I'm not going to blame the instructor for it because I really don't think she knew what she was doing it. Let's put it that way. I'm actually not sure if she's watching this channel, so I'm not going to blame it. But something was called in, and after that, my entire life fell apart too. And I knew, wow, this is real serious energy. And I think I felt ungrounded for 8 months, 8, 9, not an entire year, but 8, 9, 10 months after that too. Ungrounded to a degree where I was almost unable to even walk around, take a subway, all of that, the train. So what are you saying again? Yeah, it was an attack. That's what it feels like. Is it an integral part of awakening to have a bad teacher? No, you shouldn't have a bad. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that we have to struggle to get to that point. Listen to the experiences others have gone through. You don't have to experience the same, and stay away from it. I never have to try out certain things in my life. I never have to try out whatever these new agers are coming up with right now, to have that bad experience to be like, no, I don't want to do it. I've really tried out enough stuff in my life at this point to be like, I know what it's for. It's just going to mess up your energy. And that's that. I hope that helps somehow. It's easy to ask for info, but your answers will come from inside of you. Searching is great, but answers are personal. Ride your own donkey. Why not ride your own horse, Scotty boy? Why is it a donkey? A donkey is stubborn, huh? When people say you're a donkey, like kind of like an idiot, isn't that what a donkey is? I don't know. Okay, so we had this already. Hi to Geminis. When we clear ourselves daily, we feel plants easily. Yes, unless we're around EMF the entire time. Okay, so Bright Flame is saying, my friend works on herself every day as well, and she also thinks her totally separate view is accurate too. She also says, you just know. But you contradict each other. I don't know who she is. I don't really care. At this point, I listen to almost no one anymore, because like Scotty Boy is saying, you know your own truth. And a lot of people, especially when they channel, they just get something from entities. So I don't know if she channels or whatever, but that would say a lot. I have no idea. I'm not really interested. I mean, yeah, good for her. They're trying to steal our faces so bad and make clones. Yeah. They're trying to get to our DNA mostly. I thought shamanic journeying attracts the demonic. No, not necessarily. You have to know how to ground yourself beforehand. Actually, I was really lucky. And that's how I also know the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher, because I had a really bad Reiki experience. But then once I started doing the shamanic healing and I had a really good mentor and teacher with shamanic healing, he was amazing. Back then he was really what I needed. He from the start taught everyone how to ground properly before doing these journeys. And I think that's the main difference between people just going out there remote viewing and not having anything around you, not having any proper protection around you, as opposed to you have to do it from a very grounded perspective. And once you kind of know the difference between those two, you also see, oh, okay, this is how it looks like when you didn't do the work beforehand is what it looks like when you're just going out there and trying to read on something. It just takes time. Honestly, a lot of these things take time and a little bit of experience too. So if you're just starting out with these things, it's hard to explain to someone because, and it's like everything, it takes practice, right? They used to say you need to do these for what, 10,000 hours at least to be called some sort of professional in it or some sort of master of the craft. I do think there's a little bit to it. I don't think you have to do that many hours in it. But the more you practice, the better you get it. It's like playing the piano or a musical instrument. Um, no, Adam, we're gifted with daily attacks, period. That's another thing too. Yeah. Can you give us some tips on how to clear ourselves? I have an entire course on psychic protection. That's the most comprehensive one. I would recommend that, and you can probably find other techniques online too if you want to dig through them. I don't let up. Oh, Gemini is saying, I'm working in an ICU where I see a lot of trauma. I know the energy is attaching to me. I feel more soon out than ever. Yeah. Yeah, I'm again, I talked about this a lot on my old channel, but I used to work in a hospital for a very short period, less than half a year, because I couldn't stand it anymore. And luckily, I was only on the admin side, but I was actually working for a surgeon. And the amount of trauma that's stuck in a hospital is insane. I was having nightmares at the end of it, especially like elevator nightmares and everything. It all stems from fear. How do we face these attacks as a collective? Maybe we can meditate at one time, all of us, or yeah, the collective intent makes a lot of sense. Not the world peace, all of that. No, but actually, the more people come together and do it, that would make a lot of sense. Scotty's answer about sit in your own truth is why we have a ton of people with totally contradicting ideas. That advice leads to bad outcomes for most people. I don't know. I'm also a proponent of sitting in your own truth because honestly, you're never going to learn from other people's truths, really. I mean, you're going to follow them. They're going to disappoint you. This is why we have this entire, people following politicians, people following these new agers, people following these huge gurus that are being pushed by all of these, whoever wants you to stay brainwashed and in the game, they're pushing these gurus, obviously. You can name so many names. Like, is that guru still around? Is this one guy? There's this huge festival in Costa Rica called Envision Festival, and this one guy with the beard, I forgot his name. Could probably look him up. It's not Sadhguru, but someone else. He's there, and I'm like, of course he's there. The bigger the festival gets, the more they're going to push these brainwashers onto them, because this is a festival like hundreds and thousands of people attend at this point. So it's similar to Burning Man in Costa Rica. And I wanted to go to this festival like 10 years ago when it was still a little bit smaller, and now I'm happy I didn't go. I saw astral entities that look like clowns. Yeah, okay, so the clowns. Yeah. I tried this dying meditation recently, and it works 100%. Who is sending these AI spirits to me then? Does your intuition say anything? Well, I don't really do personal questions, but we're all being sent these AI spirits. We're all dealing with them. They're being sent to you, I mean, us in general, to really mess up. If you're doing energetic work, to really mess up with your inside and mess up with a lot of things. So just another layer for you to having to dig through that, having to dig through all those deceptions. But AI is all around you. I mean, you look at the Wi-Fi, everything you have, that's a form of AI that's around you. So you have this grid around you already. And that's what the entities feast off too. So there are different types of entities. Do you have those entities when you're in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, it's different types of entities. It's more like the older land type of, like the entities that are connected to the land. I had that too when I was staying in the middle of nowhere. Usually it's where the Wi-Fi is really, really bad and all of that. And I was still so attacked. And I'm like, oh, that is weird. But it made a lot of sense because then you had mischievous energy. kind of like demon-like energy on the land. I'm like, oh, so basically, and demons are another form of AI, right? So basically, what you have right now is the AI that's coming through from all the electronic devices, like this here, the screen, the Wi-Fi, the cell phone towers, all of that, your cell phone, your actual cell phone. And then you're dealing with the older AI that's been around for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, that was created at one point, right? So it's basically all around us at this point. Yeah. Just think you're going to die tomorrow very seriously, and a bunch of additional things attached will leave your auric field, most common felt. Mm, yeah, not a huge fan of the entire dying, because I do feel with an intention, you might call something negative in, like some sort of accident or whatever, like with people's luck nowadays, you know. This one person said when they were a kid, they had a fight with their brother. So they were both children. And their brother actually said, I wish you would die. And the next day she was almost run over by a car. And if it had been like a few inches to a different side or whatever, she would have been dead. But luckily she survived. So I'm not a huge fan of this thinking to die and all of that, because I do know that a lot of these, and I know it's not the case for you, but a lot of these suicidal thoughts or entities around you. So it's good to know that at one point, of course, we're all going to die. I agree with you. But the main goal here is to kind of live out our lives, right? We don't want to do any type of, I mean, it's up to, honestly, I'm not going to talk about this right now. Like, there's so many things that, yeah, okay. Uh, what entity or type of entities create these AI clown spirits? Can you elaborate? Why do they follow me for? They're just in the astral. I see them all the time. What type of entities creates them? Probably the same that create all the other entities, you know? I don't think it's just one entity in and of itself. I think they take on a form of their own at this point. Yannick is saying, yes, look, cold image, not warm. That's exactly. Yannick's noticing the difference. I know. Yeah, they're talking about the webcam image again. Sybil is saying this reality was created in advance with pre-programming for a very long time. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, actually, because I don't think we're in the same reality we were in 2,000 years ago. Are we already 47 minutes in? Wow. It's easy to ask for info, but your answers will come from inside of you. Oh, I think we read this already. Horses work too. It's more humble to ride a donkey. People in the Mediterranean countries ride donkeys, so I was a bit like, ooh. How many more do we have? Scotty boy, not calling anyone silly, but most of them can be answered by going within. Love you all, but a lot of these questions are silly. We're all under attack. Deal with it and stay your. Yeah, we're all. I agree. We're all under attack. Hi to Misha. Is that Misha in the chat? Did I see Misha? Yeah, Misha's there. I'm a bit late to the party. I know, 48 minutes late. And for you, it's a Monday. Hold on. Jimmy, I got a question. How come the world feels like cycle, like society feels unreal or fake, or like Metal Gear simulation? Like dreams don't feel like dreams. I know games are from escapism, but I feel some old games are too real. Are you talking about video games? The world has started to feel. When I noticed it very strongly was in 2018. That it basically felt like plastic around us. And that's the first time I really noticed the AI to such a strong degree. Before that, I was almost not aware of it. And the moment I tapped into that, I was like, whoa, everything around us is like the entire apartment. It was like this new apartment in Brooklyn I was living in had just, the construction had just come up. It's not like here it's an older place, so there's still a little bit of character to it. But you can feel it in like everything, all the new stuff, it's all AI, it's all cold, soulless, all of that. So I do know what you mean. The old games, I don't know, I don't play I think it's video games. I don't play video games. Dreams don't feel like dreams. Yeah, dreams have started to feel different lately too over the past few years for sure. Do you have any Discord? No, I actually don't know what the advantage of Discord is. You know, I think at one point I wanted to get a Discord, or maybe I even got a Discord under my old name. And then people were telling me, "Oh, I'm following you on Discord." And I'm like, "What? I don't even have a Discord." I don't know what the purpose of a Discord is. I also don't know the purpose of Twitch. Is Twitch still around? Like some people I know use it. What are these other platforms? There was this other one starting with B, some like streaming platform. I actually don't know what the purpose of Discord is. Someone can enlighten me if it's worth getting. A Discord server. Yeah, I've heard of it. I think I even signed up for it like years ago. Um You're missing the point. I'm saying my friend who does clearings and gets resolved is still effed because the false light system is clearly complex. I frankly doubt any of us have figured out much. Yeah, of course it's complex. I mean, at this point, it's very clear that there were so many deceptions being thrown around. I'm not missing your point. You're trying to look for an answer. You're trying to say, oh, I'm also infiltrated. I'm also hijacked. What I'm saying is not true. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. You know, for me, it's like I know my truth. I think I'm conveying it in videos that I'm recording here. I'm putting up a lot of content that has to do with everything, you know, the new agenda they're rolling out, AI, everything. I'm trying to work through lists and lists of material that's still from years ago. So to be honest with you, like Scotty Boy says, like we have to listen to our own truth too. Uh, I changed my career to horticultural so I could constantly ground myself throughout the day. It's been really beneficial. Yeah, I do think for some people that works. I call BS on the hours. Truth rings true. If it doesn't sound right, bounce, period. I saw more fear than uncertainty in the hospital than I ever saw more confusion. Oh, right, because you were in the hospital, Scotty boy. I don't understand that comment. I could find no answer to the woman in the red shallow sea and sky and moon with crows helps me, but I'm not sure. I don't understand that comment. There are stages of AI. They were around since creation. Yes, you can call it stages. I just call it different types of AI because I don't even think they're necessarily related to each other. Um, it happens when you look outside for 2019 when I felt the game feel. Oh, the games that reality feels like a game. Mario Kart. Scotty Boy's an Aries. He seems to be a very strong-minded person. Yeah. Hold on, hold on. There's a pop-up here. Discord is WhatsApp for gamers. That's what I thought. I thought Discord was for gamers. Julie's saying that is so true, Scotty. The answers we seek are within us. Ugh. The moment we seek externally, that's when the attacks, distortions, and infiltrations come in. Well, attacks are going to come in no matter what, even if you go within. So, um, sorry, I'm really confused by this one person's. Uh, so, Jimmy the Great, I don't really understand your questions. Okay, this probably doesn't help that the grammar is off. Whom talk to beings on another level, or is it attacks? Because, well, if you're talking to other, I don't know if you're saying you're talking to beings on another level. If they're helping you, are they bad influence? Even though they teach you right way and good, so they're always gonna. So these whatever beings, I don't know what these beings are, but they're always gonna have truth. That's how they hook you in, and then wham, they're gonna hit you one at one point one day. And I feel all these beings are just really there to mess with you. You know, the spirit guides or spirit misguides, how I like to call them. Yeah, they're going to hook you in with the truth. You know, when I was in that situation, they hooked me in. They even predicted 2020 to me. They were like, in so and so many months, you're going to see a huge change in the real estate market. You can see all these things. This was back in oh, sorry. There's like this thing. This was back in 2019, like 8, 9 months before. They were predicting, oh, and people are going to be able, especially in New York, you know, where apartments were standing empty for a good year or so, you're going to be able to find a place at a good price and all of that. I'm like, how is that ever going to happen? Like, New York real estate market is never going to crash. Boom, 2020 comes around. I mean, that's how they hooked me in too, you know, with all these predictions. And then wham, when I really needed help, it was mischievous, it was gone, it wasn't there to help. So don't listen to other beings, honestly. You don't have to. They're trying to steer your ship, and you are the only person that can steer it. They're trying to, this is why walk-ins are so dangerous too, because basically you've left your body, the soul left the body, and this other entity comes in and you're outside and they got rid of you. They want to come in, steer your ship. This is your game to play. Like, literally, this is your game. And that's why it's so precious to stay in this reality too, by the way. I hope that makes sense somehow. I don't know. I don't know, Jimmy Great. I'm having a hard time uh, deciphering the question, but I hope that helps. Ooh, another Jimmy. Are Greek gods AI? I'm very connected to them. No, not all of them. There are hundreds of Greek gods. So what the gods rule certain areas. You know, Aphrodite is basically in charge of Cyprus. Not only, there are also other gods in charge of Cyprus. Um, Apollo is in charge of a few areas in Greece, all of those things. So no, I don't think they're AI. I also don't think the pharaohs are AI necessarily. Some people think that. I'm not. I didn't get that. I just got. Are were they converted to AI after? Possibly, but no. To make that short, no. I think it might deserve a longer answer because it's a bit more complex than that. Zeus slash Jupiter, it's the same, right? It's just like one is Latin, the other one is Greek. Zeus, Jupiter was in charge of something, and before that, you know, his parents were in charge of something else. So there's a huge land energy when you go to those areas. You can feel the land energy, like you can feel it's it just feels so different than here, honestly. There's no god that's in charge. I mean, no Greek god that's in charge of the US, and you can feel that difference. All is AI. I don't agree, Scotty boy. I don't think it's AI. It doesn't mean you have to think as such. Free your soul. Okay, Jimmy's saying Discord can be a place where we can have a discussion on a server and share thoughts, also share content, talk with each other. We can all voice chat. Wow. Who has time for that? I don't know if I have time for that. So basically, I don't even have to be present in the room. You guys would just form your own community and chat away, is what you're saying. Julie has a great question. Are mirrors portals? Can portals exist anywhere? How do we close them? Yeah, mirrors or portals, very very strong. Um, Windows are portals too. Anything that resembles a mirror, even a mirrored lake, is a portal. Yeah, can be a portal. It can act as a portal. It doesn't necessarily have to. But yeah, in short, mirrors are portals. You can close a portal. Sometimes I see a portal that's open over a person's house or apartment too. So yeah, portals come in all the time. You have to close them. You close them with intention, visualization, all of the good stuff. Wow, 37 people in the room. Crazy. Hit the like button. Let's get some more likes rolling if you guys want. Okay, Bright Flame Discord basically has good group call options similar to Zoom, but I think without video. And there's kind of a forum type thing. It's more like, oh, it's more like Slack than WhatsApp. See, I don't really know what Slack is. I heard about all these things, but I've never really tried them out. I think it takes a lot of energy. I don't want to disperse my energy along on too many platforms because you literally have to put your energy in there. Right now, for people who don't know, right now I'm here on YouTube again. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook if you want to join. I'm on TikTok, which I've kind of disabled the app for a little while because it was really distracting. And I kept getting these weird recommendations. It's like it takes so much of your time, honestly. I'm on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. I'm on Odyssey. I think that's it. Not sure. Actually, if you go to my contact page, it shows all the things. I'm on Telegram. Very important, Telegram. Scotty Boy, attacks will always come to an open soul. Attacks are going to come to you when you're a targeted soul too. Telegram is more like WhatsApp in comparison. Right. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Even managing Telegram, I mean, for me personally, it's hard to manage all these things, right? You kind of need like a whole team to manage all of it. I feel like all these people who have time to manage this, I don't know, like, yeah, it takes time, right? It takes your energy. Don't want to be splintered off energetically in these, because I feel it's different realms you're a part of too. Just remember, we don't play their game. Well, you're supposed to. You're not supposed to play their game, but a lot of people are still playing their game. Spruck. Is that like the the Enterprise, Starship Enterprise? I don't even know some of those. I programmed my ego to deflect any types of attacks, meaning thoughts. Now, when a thought pattern enters, I say that is just a story. This instructs my ego to let it go and prevents deviation from my path. Yeah, your thoughts can act as an attack. I agree. No fear. Not a fan of walk-ins. No. I apologize for my horrible paragraph spelling. I'm more of a speaker than writer. I can speak my thoughts, but my writing is like Old English. Interesting. So your soul is probably still stuck somewhere in Old England, is what I'm getting. I mean, whenever that happens, right? So you're energetically still kind of like with this huge attachment to this other time period, probably. I went through a phase in my life where I was really interested in this one specific language. And I knew for a fact that a past life from that period, you know, like having lived in that country and everything hundreds of years ago was really impacting me at that point. There are different stages of AI, new and old. Yeah, I call them types of AI, but I guess stages works to a certain degree. Scotty Boy, no troubles here, Jimmy. Yeah, because usually Scotty Boy gets picked on with his grammar skills. I mean, picked on by me at least, right? Okay. Sun, moon. What are the light orbs in the sky that follow us? Any ideas, please? Light orbs in the sky. It could be the government-sponsored UFOs, like all of these flying saucers, right? That are spying on you too. Wait, hold on. I think it popped out. Thanks for the super chat, priestess. I don't know what light or specifically you're talking about, but if you're talking about the UFOs, I mean, that's all government technology they're using. They told me there are thousands, but most are not known, and I'm a child of them. Oh, of the Greek gods. There are 1,000 Greek gods. Okay, I thought there were only a few hundred, but yeah, not surprising if there were a few thousand. Thousands of Greek gods. Moon Bunny just got the notification. Yeah, guys, you got to turn on the notifications. It's no wonder people are getting unsubscribed from this channel left and right. It's, yeah, it's sad. Not surprising, but it is a bummer. They are AI talking to you. Hello, everyone. William. So that was why I kept seeing these demon like beings stepping out of the portals at night when I was far younger. You can put something over your mirror. You can some people put a blanket over it, or you just turn it around if you can. When I have a mirror in my bedroom. I did not even hang it on the wall. I know I should at one point, but I turn it around. And when I do sessions, that thing is turned around because I know they're trying to watch me through it when I do sessions. Like, I have like a few different mirrors. One of them is hanging on the wall right there, but also a ring light. I got the ring light. A ring light is usually very, actually, I could probably, no, I don't want to turn it around. But if you guys know what a ring light is, it's very round. That is a portal too. I got that a few years ago. It's pretty creepy how you just create your own portals like that, right? I mean, anything that's round can basically act like that. Bright flame voice chat would work way, way better because there's going to be so much miscommunication over text chat. However, discords can easily turn into bad shows, though usually do. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a part of a Discord group. I ride only here in that TikTok. Not on Instagram, Scotty boy. I only have Instagram and YouTube. Yes, I know, Julie. Well, I guess you don't really need any. Targeted souls, can you talk about it? Oh, that's going to take a very long time. If you rewind to the beginning, I kind of say how they put a tracker on you from lifetime to lifetime. I think that starts at around minute 10 or so. Web 3, ICP, internet computer, open chat. I don't know what that even means. Moon Bunny, don't speak of it. I will go away to the. Oh, wait, where are you? I don't even know. Oh, targeted souls. Don't give it any energy. Sybil, we're not able to make influence unless we're in this reality. Yes, very strongly. Very strong. Yes. Very, very strong. Yes. Very clear. Yes. Scotty boy, no, Sprock. Oh, SPR are the first few letters of my last name. Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was. Oh, is his name Spook or something? One of the Starship Enterprise. Scotty boy saying, remember we talked about this, Laura, not thousands. Yeah, you thought there were only 12 Greek gods, right, Scotty boy? I seriously need to invest in blanket mirrors. They are big in my current place and built into the property. Yeah, you need to put something over it because that's for sure another means theory. Anything, a screen, a black screen, your cell phone screen. They watch you through that. It's the black mirror, right? The black screen. So turning it around is very effective if you can. If not, you can put something over it, like a cover. I know it sounds paranoid, but it's just once you see those things, you can't unsee them. And for me personally, I feel watched. I don't even like to use that mirror anymore. Like I haven't used the one that's in a different room because I don't sleep there. And I'm okay with that. And it's not facing me the entire time, so it's not watching me constantly. But once you know that it's used for the watchers, it's used for messing you up energetically, you just can't unsee it. I have only one mirror in my bathroom. Yeah. Well, guys usually don't have a whole bunch of mirrors. I don't mean the UFOs. I'm talking about orbs like stars or stars that appear like falling stars and disappear with blinking messages. Interesting. I guess it would depend on a case to case basis, but some of them could be stars that literally died out thousands of millions of years ago. Like if you want to believe the regular science, which I do think in some cases it's true, or it's a different type of AI technology. But I'm actually not sure 100% what you're talking about. If you have like you have a screenshot of it or something. I meant mirror blankets. Right. I don't even like monitors, same as a mirror. Yes, a monitor is the same thing. Yeah, some people just have it wide open all day long or even leave their computer on. And I'm like, yeah, it's just you got to turn that off, or you got to at least shut it. Um, I have mirrors everywhere, Julie. Well, you're being watched, Julie. Sunny days. I'm so happy to catch the live stream. Thank you. You're welcome. Scotty Boy saying I was on Instagram a year or so ago. Yeah. Instagram's not the same. I don't even know. I mean, it's the amount of stuff that gets censored on there. It's so frustrating, isn't it? The orbs, light beings I'm talking about are somewhat connected to synchronicity 444-777-999, according to my understanding. I have no idea what those are. It's funny that our homes are made of simple shape. Why not odd shapes? I see too many circles and squares. Depends on the home. If you go to the homes that the Romans had, they literally had this courtyard in the middle, so it wasn't always a circle or a square. But that's like an architectural question, isn't it? I feel there must have been a practical reason to it at one point. I mean, when people lived in tents, all of that, a tent is it's always like more like a circle, right? So, yeah, I feel there's a lot of different reasons to that. But if you look at different cultures and what their homes used to look like, which I really always like to look at, old Roman homes or because I had Latin for like 10 years. So I was always fascinated by that. Very different architectures from what you have now. And it also depends on where in the world you are. So if you go to certain Asian areas, they're going to look very different than in Europe or in Mexico or anywhere really. If you go to like the Latin American countries, a lot of homes look similar. And then it's like, oh, it was because of the Spanish conquerors and everything. But it's not always like that because in Spain, they look a little bit different too. So I think there's a lot of things that go into like old beliefs, things that were just passed down from generation to generation. And there's always a little bit of truth with how they were built. But odd shapes, you mean like kind of like double, triple triangles somehow, or like these complex shapes? Well, also circles and squares are very easy to make, right? And so simplicity wins, of course. Didn't like the vibes, so I left it on Instagram. Julie's saying only use Instagram to watch and follow inspirational videos. Yeah. I mean, Instagram is good for that. I feel that's what I was using TikTok for in the beginning, and then all this other crap just kept popping up. Jimmy's saying, I could feel portals on my face when hungover. I used to get drunk often a decade ago. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. We were all younger. I'm kind of thinking back to when I was like really like teen 20s. I'm like, wow, the things I did to my body, never again. Recently came across one of these throwbacks on Facebook, it's like 12, 13, 14 years ago. And I'm like, wow, I actually did those things and went to the gym the day after. That's just crazy. I can't even believe I did those things to my body, honestly. The last thing I need to see is my forehead is getting larger. Screw mirrors. These bright stars appear since 2010 till now. And the world came to an end in 2011. Wasn't that the timeline they gave us? I think any being can be an orb. They travel like that. Yeah, it could also be. I haven't really paid attention to these orbs that you're talking about. I deleted Facebook and Instagram a few years ago. Didn't realize how much time I was spending on those apps until I deleted them. Yeah, that helps too. Or just deleting them off your phone. Having to actually log into them on a computer already helps too. Round is natural. Very few of us can build in circles today. Oh, interesting. Huh. I didn't know. Because I think you're in the building industry, Scotty boy, aren't you? The box square is simple to build. I don't have any book recommendations. I can't even remember the last time. I mean, unless it's like, was it fiction or something? I don't have any nonfiction recommendations. I saw a few of your TikTok videos. It's TikTok, 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 TikTok. Like the time they're trying to rob you of your time on TikTok. Tick tock, tick tock. The time is ticking. It's basically what it is. You spend a few minutes on there, 2 hours are gone. That's how I felt. Like, the entire afternoon is gone. I'm happy to be sober now. Feels so much better. Yes, it does. And I always notice, when you talk to, because obviously you have friends who are still drinking and doing the things, right? Every time I talk to them, I'm like, isn't it time to give up alcohol at least for like a little bit? Like try to give it up at least for a month and see how better your life gets with it. But a lot of people don't want to make that sacrifice. I don't know why. um, yeah, especially here where I am. Maybe it's just that. I'm really freaked out with mirrors after knowing what I know now. Well, it's whatever. I mean, yeah, the more you know, the less you enjoy regular things, right? Do you guys notice how we almost never smile nowadays and our smiles are just downward? Mine's upward. It is hard to laugh nowadays. It is very hard to laugh nowadays. They're trying to rob us of our joy. And that's been coming through a lot, when I just do some healings and everything. I was like, yeah, we're being robbed of our joy. And I felt that was what the past 4 years were about specifically. I haven't noticed the downward. When I was younger, I would analyze people's mouth shapes, and some mouths would point upwards, like mine is actually. It's like, and then I had a friend, and hers was naturally downwards. It's hard to, I mean, I need a picture, I guess. But from a natural shape, mine is always upwards and hers was down. So I started analyzing people's mouth shapes, trying to conclude like personality traits out of those, but I never really made it that far. So that's what it reminded me of when you did that comment. Scotty Boy saying, let's talk about souls in every crystal. I don't know if every crystal has a soul, especially like the tiny, tiny crystals, but there is a lot of there is something crystal beings, right? There is something trapped in there. Yeah, sometimes the crystal is so traumatized that the crystal being doesn't want to show itself. Not sure I would call it a soul, but I guess it is a soul in that sense, not a soulless being. I want to learn more about philosophy and the idea of astral beings and planes without a one-sided view. Yeah, I don't know what type of book would talk about that. Were you the one who were asking for book suggestions? I don't know what type of book would talk about that. Yes, the contractor, semi-retarded. I meant retired. That's a lot of hard work. Those people retire earlier because it's so much physical work. Oh, Yanni's saying TikTok time portal, and I'm addicted to info. Try to stop listening. I know you post a lot of TikTok videos in the Telegram group. I was a non-meat eater for over 10 years. I smile every day. I think honestly, with this entire smiling, we have to force ourselves to smile a few times a day. I know it's like a psychological effect, but that does help a lot with finding joy back into our lives too. People don't laugh anymore. People really, yeah, it's right. I talked about this with another friend too. I'm like, hey, do you think people change where you are? And he's like, yeah, people aren't really smiling and laughing, right? The way they did a few years ago. Geminis, I got sober 7 years ago after I got a gallon of 100 proof vodka a day. That's a lot. I was like the Walking Dead. I feel so much better now. Wow, well, your liver and kidneys must feel better too. That's a lot. A gallon? That's like 3.7 liters. I don't think I've ever even drank that much in one sitting. Not that I'm a lightweight or anything, uh, but that's a lot. I mean, you have to build up that resistance over decades. I don't know. I feel like the most I ever drank, this is like years ago. This is a really long time ago. This is when I was in my early 20s when we went to Oktoberfest in Munich because I was still living in Germany, and you can just take a train because in Germany you can just take a train. You don't have to drive a car, so you can just take the train. It took like a 2-hour train ride to Munich and 2 hours back. So we didn't even have a hotel room in Munich because we were basically going to party for 24 hours straight. That was our plan. Horrible plan. Even when you're young, it's a horrible plan. But that's how we did, honestly, because, obviously you can go out when you're younger, like 16, 17, 18. 18 is for everywhere, but you can even get into places when you're younger. So this is when I was in my early 20s, and I was still drinking then, but I already knew I didn't like it. I already knew I was like, there was some weird toxic poison stuff and alcohol. I never felt great the day after. So me and another friend took the train to Munich. This is like the first day of Oktoberfest too, which Oktoberfest starts in September because it ends in October. So it goes like 3 weeks in September, pretty much ends like that first weekend of October. It was pretty warm out, we didn't have to worry about the weather. And we took the train at 7 a.m. And so that we were there punctual for 12 noon when they were doing like the first, I don't know, first keg or something. And we were literally there for 24 plus hours because I think by the time we were back in Heidelberg, which is where I was studying, it might have even been like a 5-hour train ride. I don't even know anymore. But because it was like the slow train, it wasn't the ICE or anything. So we were back the next day around noon or 1 p.m. again. So it was literally like more than 24 hours. And I don't even remember half of what happened. I don't know how many mas I drank. I think it was a few, like 3 or so. But I was really drunk. I know that. And it was pretty dangerous. And I'm so glad nothing happened. There's so much stuff that can happen when you're drunk and intoxicated and you're a girl. And just in general, you can get run over by a car, right? I mean, that's how drunk people get. But I do remember at one point, this is still at Oktoberfest before I puked, because I know at one point I must have puked. Because we took one of the rides to, really bad idea when you're that wasted. At one point I fell and I hit my knee somehow, and I was wearing this dirndl, so it's like that dress that they wear. And I hit my knee. My knee was hurt for a few weeks. And this one Bavarian guy with his lederhosen, he was like picking me. It's just the weirdest thing ever. So I think that's the most I ever really drank in one sitting. It's definitely not the gallon of vodka, though. It was less than that. So that's just a fun story. I went to München Oktoberfest in 1996. What do I? Oktoberfest is always. I would go back, even sober. I would go back because it's fun sober as well, and it's one of the things I actually wanted to do. Haven't gotten around to doing that yet because they have a lot of fun stuff. They have rides. They have all of this. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to going back to Germany around that time. It's such a traditional thing, it's such like a German Bavarian thing. You just have to see it. Um, wait, I lost the comments here. Oh yeah. The only thing that can't be taken away from me is my smile. Yeah, I know. When one smiles and laughs, that is the easiest way to be heart coherent. Um, I believe everyone in this chat room is pre-planned birth. What do you mean by that? They are pre-planned birth that we were wanted by our parents. I don't know. I know, for me, that's not true because I have a twin sister and no one wishes for twins. So I know one of us were not wanted, and I'm gonna say it's me because 'cause I'm the youngest one, but I don't care. I'm in this reality, so at this point, I don't care. I agree with you. I used to smile a lot. I take advantage of laughing when, I'm with my hubby and a few people who are authentically funny. The devil strips us of joy, not just the devil, a lot of things strip us of joy. I eat meat today. Good for you, Scotty boy. So, oh gosh, there was this huge vegan discussion. I think one person called meat eaters cannibals. One of the comments on the last video, I'm like, I'm not going down that road. And then it's so funny. So he was I think it was a he was saying, "Oh, I think whoever eats meat or whoever eats animals is a cannibal in that sense, because we're all the same soul group, something like that." And I read that comment, and I literally looked at my dog, and I'm like, "You're a cannibal." I said that to my dog because obviously she's going to eat meat. I'm not going to have a vegan dog floating around. And she just wagged her tail, and she didn't know what was going on. She just smiled in her dog language. I can't believe what we did to our bodies. What did they do to us? We have the power to erase their agenda. I know, I think I'm still undoing a lot of damage I've done in my teens and 20s in Europe because that was a lot. I mean, I don't even understand how much we did. Sick and tired of fools. You will not understand the unconditional love until spiritual awakening, or until you have children, or until you have a dog. It's also a good one. All right, someone's randomly commenting on my videos instead of participating in this chat. His name is Atusa. My smile is my main accessory. My friends said my smile is contagious. Scotty's saying that's a lot. Yeah, even for Scotty boy, the gallon of vodka is a lot. Um, Geminis, I drank over the entire day, nonstop if I was awake. Oh, okay. I heard of people doing that. I never understood how they kept a job, or maybe you were retired, or I don't know. I thought I drank a lot. I'm humbled. See, Scotty boy, this is why participating in chat. Me too. I thought I drink a lot during that one Oktoberfest. I'm humbled as well. My brother almost died. Now it's sober, no drinking. Yeah, a lot. Good for him. Good for him. I really sincerely congratulate him because that's a huge one, isn't it? I had a friend almost kill herself in her car because she was so drunk. In Germany, when you drink and drive, it's not like here in the US. Everyone does it here. In Germany, you get caught, your license is gone. So she had her license gone for 1 or 2 years. She had to take something called an idiot test, which is basically psychological evaluation that you're not an idiot, to get her driver's license back. And she couldn't drive for a long time, for 1 or 2 years, because she was so drunk. And at the end of the day, I'm happy it happened to her because it showed me and my other friends, because this is when we were like 18 years old. It showed me that we were not supposed to be doing that because where we were living, it was very rural. You need your car. Because first of all, you don't want to lose your car. You don't want to lose your license. You need to get around. Otherwise, you're stuck in your parents' house. And that's awful when you're that age. And second of all, I do sincerely think if the police had not stopped her on that night, she would be dead, because there was no way she would. It was this weird stretch that had a lot of curves and a lot of mountains. She would have crashed her car down a mountain. Honestly, I really believe that to this day. So in a sense, it was a blessing in disguise, but it was very bitter for her because she lost her license for a long time. But you have to learn, honestly. There's no other way you're going to learn. And then when I see people here, not necessarily in New York City, but definitely in the Midwest and other areas, they just drive and drink. I'm like, wow, that is just crazy, because the fines are so huge in Germany. Like, you get points, you lose your license, all of those things. My brother suffered from anxiety, and I taught him to belly laugh to raise his frequency out of that anxiety state and back to joy. Being heart centered gets us back into the present moment. So that has to do with breathing techniques, and breathing techniques really help with anxiety. I have seen that in myself too when I was going through those phases. So yeah, very true. Julie, I don't like the feeling of being drunk. I never really liked drinking and smoking too. Good. I mean, it's basically toxic and poison to your body. I went through the worst DTs ever. I almost died even while in critical care. Wow. What are DTs? I don't know these terms. Scotty's saying, I was never a hard liquor drinker. Honestly, me neither. That's weird, right? Then in our egos, where we are in the past or future, just creating emotions. Oh. Does tequila count as hard liquor? Yeah, tequila is a hard liquor. Tequila and rum. Hmm. I don't know if that was a question. Sprucker. Water is hard. Some water is hard. Some water is soft. Who knew Laura was a drunk knee bouncer? Well, I think when you're young, you do a lot of strange things. But I have to say, I was never as drunk as my other friends. So I always felt better about that. And plus, that was like that one time at Oktoberfest. Most of the time, honestly, I was always the designated drive, the DD, determined designated driver, whatever that even means. So I actually didn't really drink. And then when I came to New York, I was already past this stage where I wanted to be drunk every single day, or every weekend. But yeah, I mean, it takes a while because there's so much societal pressure and group pressure, especially when you're younger. Nowadays, I have a teenage niece. Well, she's actually 18 or 19. I forgot one of those two ages. I think she's 18. Born in 2005. So she's 19. She turns 19 this year. And her generation does not drink at all, or at least her friends group doesn't drink alcohol at all. And I'm like, wow. On one hand, I was like, are you missing out on something? No, not really. But then on the other hand, I think it's really great. She doesn't have to make all of those mistakes everyone else made. And I do think you're kind of breaking these generational curses, right? Because your parents were drinking, so they expect you to be drunk at a certain age, or maybe not, but you get the idea, right? I got so attacked by a roaming gang of vegans. It was ridiculous, I know. Oh, hi to Atusa. Oh, Atusa's a girl, I forgot. Can't kids drink in Germany? Yeah. Well, legally, when I was there, you had to be 16 to buy beer and wine, and then the hard liquors is 18. But people I hung out with already drank when they were 12. And then I started going to parties when I was 14. So I was drinking vodka when I was 14 already. Not proud of it. And I don't want my children to drink that at that age. But it's just what you do. There's nothing to, where I was, there's nothing to do. It was so strange. I don't even know how my parents, like, this is me and my sisters, obviously, how our parents drove us to these parties already. And they picked us up at like 2 a.m. It was such a different mentality, honestly. It was not just alcohol, it was the bad bacteria in the chicken, but mixed with his bad healthy liver. Oh, he could have died. Yeah. Idiot test in Germany. Yes, it's actually called Idiotentest. So that's idiot test translated. DTs are withdrawal. Oh, delirium and seizures. Not a teenager, a young woman. Right. Well, she's still a teenager until she's 20. So I don't drink anymore at all, even a glass. Yeah. Don't mind me, no question, just ramblings of a man sharing my truth. Yeah. Yeah, congrats to Yannick. I agree. Congrats to everyone who's not drinking anymore. I mean, I don't know. It's yeah, it's every time I just, because I'm sober if I go to parties, which obviously parties don't even make a lot of sense anymore, but you have to go to a birthday party or something, you just go. And when you're the only sober person there these days, you just notice how much alcohol destroys lives, relationships, everything, right? And you're like, wow, that person is really making a fool of themselves. My friend just had the situation where she took a whole bunch of videos of her drunk boyfriend, and he was so drunk. like he could barely stand, right? Is one of those situations. And then when he was sober again, she sent them to him. And it's so embarrassing when you see those videos, right? Like that's just I'm kind of happy that didn't happen when I was like during my generation, but now everything's being recorded, right? It's great. It's great. We are at a war. We need all our energy focused. Yes. I outgrew my drinking days, ran out of bail money. Why would you need bail money for drinking? Don't want to know that. Everything we experienced are lessons we needed to learn. Yeah. It does seem that the newer generations now don't drink as much as my generation did and the ones that were before mine. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. But I think that's a good trend for sure. There's also this one trend where the youngsters, like 14, 15, 16-year-old teenagers, are reverting back to flip phones because they're so overwhelmed by the entire smartphone technology. I think that's great. I mean, that's like amazing. Okay, you guys. So I didn't get to all the comments here that I wanted to discuss. We basically only discussed one comment I wanted to discuss, but someone's saying I live off grid and have been attacked by the same technology too. So yeah, off grid doesn't even help anymore, huh? Maybe we'll get to them during a different video, is what I'm thinking, because we're already like 1.5 hours in. The new generation probably has more sex, TikTok, and weed to replace booze. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're reverting back to a flip phone, they wouldn't have all these apps on their phone. I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. The TikTok trend is concerning for younger people because it's really messing with their brain. And the prefrontal lobes are not fully developed until you're like in your mid 20s or late 20s. The grid has nothing to do with it, off grid or not off grid. True. So what does it have to do with Scotty Boy? If off grid doesn't help and you're still getting attacked by these technologies, I do think off grid could help to a certain degree. Drinking makes your mind clouded. Yes. If you're targeted, you're targeted. Yeah, true. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's super late. And next time I'll have a different camera, even though I kind of do enjoy that it's not super wide angle. That is a nice feature. And it's not wiggly, but I really don't like the color balance. Oh, yeah. I wanted to show the newcomers how I can actually take it off. Have it go closer. And put it here. Right here. I see you. And it's pretty neat. I mean, I can put it on a tripod, I guess, which I don't have right now. And then I can kind of look at the screen and look at the camera. So, and now the white balance looks a little bit different, but it's still super gray compared to the other one. But yeah, I think we're going to close this live stream. And thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you. If you haven't participated in this one, you can always comment below. We're getting to your comments at one point. I'm planning on making a whole bunch of comment videos. I see you too. I like this because I can really move it super close. And yeah, you guys, I'll see you around. I follow you on Rumble too. Yeah, Rumble. I think I put everything on what I put on YouTube on Rumble at this point. Okay, guys, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. If you're celebrating this holiday weekend here, have a good day off whenever you see this. Obviously, it's a timeless live stream. You can watch it in 10 years from now. You can watch it tomorrow. All right. Until then, bye.